Okay, we live in the crib, Vibin With Veto. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube at Vibin With Veto. Also follow us on Instagram at Vibin With Veto. You already know the slogan, we vibrating higher. And today I got a special guest, dog. Like, hey man, I wish we had a whole audience so we can clap it up. But I got my dog in the building.
What's going on,
man?
Vito,
Hey,
man?
Thank you for taking time out of your day to come and rock with me. You know what I mean? I know you're a busy person, family man, business exec. Like, bro, it's just the list is it's a lot. It's a lot. But thank you for coming to Vibe with Vito, man.
For sure, man. I always love to just come, spread whatever knowledge I can to you and everybody else watching. You know what I mean?
Facts, man. Hey, like you killing like the internet game, dog. Like,
Thank
bro,
you.
I see a clip of you every single day, bro.
Thank you.
So when I reached out,
looking like
nah, you all good. When I reached out, I was like, okay, so like I was telling Ray Daniels, it's like certain bucket list people, you know what I mean, that you want to interview, but you already know when you first jumping into like a business or jumping into like a lane that's different for you, you got to kind of build yourself up and you know what I mean, get some stripes under your belt before you come and holler. But I was like, when I hollered at you, I was like, man, I feel like it's the perfect time, and I'd love for you to come and vibe with me.
Honestly, it wouldn't even matter. That wouldn't even matter to me, man. Like I said, I just like giving out knowledge. So anybody would, I don't even want to call it a platform. Anybody that's just doing something going in the right direction, I want to be a part of it for sure. So that's I can just spread that knowledge. Because the truth of the matter is, like I said, that with the internet, it ain't about the numbers. All you need is the good content. The good content gonna bring you the numbers. Okay. You know what I mean? So even if you ain't had no followers, if you had a clean setup, I'd have came.
That's dope. Yeah. That's dope. I appreciate it, man. Introduce yourself to the people before we started talking, but go ahead.
For sure. Well, my name is Jr McKee. I'm a 20-year music business veteran. I've been doing this since I was 19 years old. Salute. I've had an incredible, man, I'll call it tail end of my career. Like I started off out of Mississippi. Okay. My first artist that I broke was the Joker, who was huge on MySpace. Probably one of the biggest rappers on MySpace. Okay. Then after that, I moved to Atlanta. Broke K-Camp. That was my first major label artist. And then ever since, man, I've just been doing it. Ride Wave, Lil Durk, that's dope. Money Long, Justine Scott. We just had the #1 song in America for the entire year of 2023 with Justine Scott. Everybody's aware of Money Long, Hours and Hours, all the things we've done. And then even from there, just working with tech companies. So we have the company I've been working with, Even.biz, working with another company, Group.com, just all music companies that's trying to take artists to the next level to where they're getting paid, what they're supposed to be getting paid. And so we just been pushing the music, pushing artists to the next level is basically what we've been doing for a long time, what I've been doing for a long time. Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know, man, 160 million records sold, multiple Grammys. Most of those records are independent, by the way, so we own the masters to a lot of those records. The Grammys, man, the #1 Billboard albums. Facts. #1 Billboard singles, #1 on Apple Music. Like, at this point, I've literally touched every #1 there is under my umbrella. That's dope. And so, it's just been a long and great career.
Can I ask you something, bro? Yeah. Like, how does that make you feel? You know what I mean? To have a vision, to see something in your head, right? And to turn that into like something like real, like you can, you know what I mean? Something tangible, you know what I mean? Too as well. How does that feel to have that under your belt and to see your dreams come true?
Man, you know what? After the Money Long, Hours and Hours, I pretty much told all my friends, I was like, man, I kind of like the chip on my shoulder is gone. Okay. Like I kind of felt like I had achieved everything there was to achieve because I started off in the music business from an independent standpoint, which is why I'm such an independent advocate. Okay. Because they wouldn't give us a record deal. I had this artist, the Joker. He was literally the second biggest artist on MySpace. It was Soulja Boy, then him. And this is in the MySpace era. Yeah, facts. And we were from Mississippi, so we were trying to get a record deal. We literally met with every label. And to be fair, I know why they didn't give us a record deal. Because I wouldn't have gave us a record deal. It's like these kids from Mississippi have no experience in the music business. And so, they didn't give us a record deal. And that forced me to have to figure out how to make money on my own without the labels. And so I think maybe like 4 years after that, I ran into Gazi at South by Southwest. Gazi from Empire.
Okay.
This is the year that he started Empire. I ran into him that year, and he's like, "Hey man, you're Jr McKee." I'm like, "Yeah, how you doing?" I'm like, "Guys, yeah, I got this label." And he was like, "Man, do you know something?" I'm like, "What's that?" He was like, "You're the first person to ever put a hip hop mixtape on iTunes." And I was like, "Are you serious?" He was like, "Yes," because he worked for a distribution company before he started Empire.
Okay.
And he was like, "Yeah, I saw when you did that." He was like, "Man, that was incredible." And so he told me something I wasn't even aware of.
Yeah, facts.
But because we couldn't go to the labels, we had to figure out how to sell our own music. You know, I ended up finding TuneCore, and I put our music on iTunes, and literally the first month it was on iTunes, we made $30,000. Cash.
And this is with
this is with the Joker.
The Joker. Okay.
This is with the Joker. And so every month after that, 30, 30, 30. And that was my beginning like entry to making money, because I had never made no real money before that.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So that was the first time I was like, oh yeah, I'm rich.
Facts.
I thought. I was more so hood rich. I wasn't rich.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
That's dope though.
But yeah, but from that standpoint, you know, I always had this chip on my shoulder, like, oh, they ain't want to give me a deal. And so I always been running with that. But after, you know, Rod, Dirk, you know, Camp, and then to the Money Long, where we got that #1 completely independent, I was just like, oh, well, ain't really much left for me to do.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, I don't, you know what, like, we've literally touched every #1. And as much as I love this business, I was like, man, I feel like, you know, I want to try some new challenges.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we kind of have solved this puzzle so many times at this point. So long way of answering your question, it felt like, what else can we do?
Right.
We've done this already.
Facts.
That's kind of what it felt like.
Facts. Hey man, thank you guys for watching the content, watching all of the interviews. Make sure you like, subscribe, and also leave a comment, man. Vibin with Veto. Just take 1 second out your day and leave a comment, like, or subscribe. Let's get back to the interview. When you were coming up, right, and you saw like other people doing, you know, in the music industry, but like a lot of times like us, like our color, like black people, we want to be the artists. We want to be in front of the camera. What made you say, you know what, I want to be an exec. I want to be behind the scenes and make this ship move.
Right. I mean, so first and foremost, my father raised me to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And so that was always my mindset, like, what businesses can I start? But, you know, full transparency, I remember the first artist I was dealing with, their name was Cadillac Dunn and J Money. They got a record deal for a song called Inside Peanut Butter, Outside Jelly.
Bruh. You was behind that too?
Well, I wouldn't say behind. I was a part of it.
A part of that.
Like, those were my friends.
Okay.
And they got a record deal, and they took me with them.
That's hard.
And so that was my intro to, like, what does a music business look like?
Okay.
Was that. But from that situation, I was writing for them. You know, if you listen to the album, I probably wrote on every song on that album. But I had to say, in that process, you know, I would go in the booth, I would rap, and I was like, man, my voice suck. I hate it. And so I just knew being a rapper wasn't for me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, like, just from that. But what's so crazy is later on down the line, Young Thug came out. And he had the confidence that to turn his voice into an instrument.
Facts.
My voice sounded very much like Young Thug, but I didn't have that confidence back then. I'm like, I don't like the way that sounds. And I just didn't do it. But when I heard Thug, I was like, damn, that sounds just like me.
Yeah,
that's what I used to sound like.
Facts.
So I wish I would have had his confidence. And maybe I could have been an artist.
Yeah, but nah, to see that, it's like, man, it's admirable, because it's like, dog, like a lot of us, we want to be the artists. But to dibble and dabble and kind of just say, you know what? I'm going to take the back seat, right, in terms of being seen. But I'm going to be the one that kind of makes the battery, like, you know what I mean? I help charge this thing up, you know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, I always knew I was going to make wealth from business. I just didn't know what business.
Facts.
And after I got exposed to the music business, I was just, you know, sort of, I love the lifestyle so much.
Absolutely.
And I was like, okay, well, this is the business I'm going to start. I'm going to start in the music business, so we start our own label. And so that's how I got into the business. I was just the lifestyle was so glamorous, and I was going to do some type of business, and I was like, why not this?
Facts.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
That's dope. Can we talk about like the lack of originality now in music? Can we talk about that? Can we go here? So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think the music industry today lacks originality, leading to the failure of many artists?
And
we on Vibin with Veto, so you can go crazy.
I mean, it's tough because I do feel like, you know, even back in the day, everybody starts somewhere. Like I remember Rich Homie Quan, when he started, he sounded like Future until he found his own voice, and then he started sounding like Rich Homie Quan.
Right.
I remember Roscoe, when Roscoe first started. I can't remember who it was, Young LA, or something like that. Like he sounded like Young LA until he found his own voice.
Facts.
And so honestly, my honest opinion on stuff like that is, if you can find an artist that's good at imitating somebody, most likely you give them enough time, they'll eventually
morph into themselves.
They're morph into themselves, because it takes talent to be able to copy someone.
Facts.
Like if you can copy someone well, that's a talent that will eventually turn into your own sound.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I know several examples that I saw start sounding like the person they admired, and then eventually turned into their own sound.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So I wouldn't knock somebody for sounding like somebody, but it's just, do they ever elevate to the next
next level? Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, that's dope. Because like now the way that the music industry is, like, it's like, I don't like to say microwavable, but like music is coming out so fast, bro. So and it's like we're consuming so much. So I feel like because like, all right, for example, Young Jeezy, when he first came out, bro, we played Trap or Die,
right,
like until today.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know if I hear albums that I can play, you know what I mean? Like for longer than, you know what I mean?
So the music quality is down mainly because there is no collaboration. Everybody makes music at home in their bedroom, closet. Music is supposed to be made 6-7 people in the studio.
Facts.
Writers,
Facts.
producers. They're supposed to be collaborating, iron sharpening iron. You know what I mean? Like, that's how music is supposed to be made, and that's how you get great music. Right now, you're just getting okay music, and then you have talented people that's just being talented by themselves.
Yeah, facts.
They're getting a beat off YouTube, and they're putting their talent on it, but there's nobody in there with them making it better and better and better.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's the lack of collaboration is the reason for the downfall of the quality of music.
That's dope. Man, I love that answer. I love that answer. Let's talk about oversaturation, right? Is the market oversaturated with too many artists producing similar content, making it hard for new talent to stand out?
Yes, it's very oversaturated because just the entry point is so low. You know, you can record on your iPhone headphones, literally. You know what I mean? So you can record a whole song right from your iPhone. And so now that it's so easy access to be able to record, of course, more people are going to try it.
Facts.
I think, the ones that are going to win are the ones who try it and keep going and keep elevating, just get better and better. It's just like practice. And the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. But I don't think a lot of people ever get that far because they don't see results.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So most of them end up quitting. As far as the content, what content is all about trends. And so being original in content is almost non-existent. Like somebody has done it. You know what I mean? Somebody has used that edit. Somebody has, caught that angle. Somebody has done it, but that's okay. Like for our content, to be honest with you, we don't even try to be original. Our whole goal is to find what's working and repeat it.
And reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. We find content that's working and we repeat it. That's our job. Our job is to figure out how can we fit what we're trying to sell into the content that they made that worked. Okay, let's do the content like that, but we're going to fit in our song. Okay. But let's do the content like that, but we're going to fit in our product.
Dope.
Or we're going to fit in our story. That's
Facts.
the best way, when you can fit your story into the trend.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's our job. Like, we're not sitting here trying to come up with original content. We're looking what's working. Man, it's 4+ billion people on the internet. You're not going to tell me I copied your content.
Right.
It's 4 billion people. So, you know what I mean? So there's no such thing as copying when it comes to content.
Facts. How much do you think the pressure to go viral on social media contributes to the artist producing like subpar music?
Man, I think that the brightest people are going to look at the landscape and figure out how to make it work for them. So to me, when I say, their music is bad because they're chasing virality, I think that they're doing a bad job of making music that goes viral. If you're doing a good job of making music that goes viral, I'm gonna salute you.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? So I think that you're just doing a bad job at it. I don't fault you for trying to make music that goes viral. I would just say you're not doing a good job at making music that goes viral. Facts. Because for me, like, I understand, with with content creation today, every person, your mom, your auntie, they are creating content. If they have social media, they're creating content. The way that they create content is they make their videos and then they find songs and lyrics that match that match the videos that they're making. Okay. So for example, if me and you make this podcast and we don't have any audio, we just had a clip of us sitting here chopping up on a podcast, and there was a Rick Rock song where he was like, podcast did 1 million views, woo-de-woo. I'm going to take that song and I'm going to put it over our content because it matches perfect. Right. So me knowing that as an artist, I'm like, okay, what's my audience, what are they doing? Is my audience pretty girls? I'm going to make a song speaking on how they get dressed. Now, every time a girl in my audience wants to post a video of her getting ready, she's going to use my song because I specifically said those bars about how she's looked so pretty getting ready. Dope. You know what I mean? So for me, that's how you make music that goes viral.
That goes viral. You know that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, that's how you make music that goes viral. You say, okay, who's the audience I'm trying to get to? What are they doing every day in their content that I can literally give them the soundtrack for? Okay. You know what I mean? That's my job. I want to give you the soundtrack for your content because every person is making content.
That's dope.
They just need the soundtrack for it, and I want to be the one to provide it.
Facts. You know what I mean? You basically answered my next question, but nah, that's dope. We'll go to industry politics. Can we talk industry politics?
Yeah, for sure.
Are industry politics and the influence of record labels stifling true artistic talent and creativity?
Well, number one, record labels don't have influence anymore. So start there. They don't have any influence. Listen, the music business has been democratized. We are now in a democracy, meaning that the people control the music business. Fact. The people control what song goes viral. The people control what sound goes viral, what sound is trending. It's all controlled by the people. The music business or the major labels have no control over the people. It's a complete democracy right now. Everything's fan led. So the first part of that question what was the first part of that question again?
Our industry politics and the influence of record labels stifling.
Yeah, so there's no such thing as influence by the record label or industry politics when it comes to going viral or when it comes to building an audience. You can literally do everything and not have to ever touch a playlist, because people think that's industry politics. You can do everything and not be signed to a major label. You don't need money. It doesn't cost me anything. This piece of content we're creating right now, it may not be free, but it's very low cost.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
And so this clip could get 1 million views. You know what I mean? I didn't have to deal with industry politics or a record label to get that 1 million views. All I had to do was make good content.
Facts.
And so that's where we are. It's like, if you're an artist that makes good music and makes good content, you're most likely going to have some form of success. Facts. Now, you might not become a superstar because technically that's kind of dead.
Facts.
You know what I mean? There are no more superstars because now everybody's a star.
Facts.
You know what I mean? If you got a social media account and you got 100,000 followers, you believe you're a star.
Yeah,
you
facts. Facts.
So now everybody's a superstar because everybody I know got a good amount of followers. You can't really run up on nobody who don't have no real followers.
Facts.
Everybody has some sort of following now. So the superstar is dead. So now it's like, it's a complete democracy. It's now, the question is, how well can you cater to your fans? You know what I mean? How good of a soundtrack can you give them? How good can you copy content that's already working so that your content begins to work?
Facts.
You know what I mean? It's honestly not that hard. Like I said, like, I've solved this puzzle so many times. I'm tired of solving the puzzle. I'm like, right. I need a new puzzle.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
It's really not difficult anymore because it's a democracy. Now all I got to do is cater to the fans.
Yeah,
you know, I was blessed enough to get invited to a Magic Johnson event. Well, it wasn't his event, but he was speaking at it.
He was there?
Yeah, Magic Johnson. It was only it was 100 people in the room, you know what I mean? Okay. And he was speaking to us, and he was speaking on how he got Magic Johnson theaters to work. And he put it plain and simple. All he did was cater to black people. At that point in time, movie theaters did not cater to black people. They didn't have the type of snacks we wanted. They didn't have the type of seating we wanted. They weren't in the locations we wanted. So he said he got success. He got a successful movie theater simply by saying, what do we want? What do black people want? And I'm going to put that in movie theater. So it's the same thing with music. Like, when you're looking at your audience, what do they want? How can I cater to them? Facts. You know, my audience loves basketball. Well, I'm going to make music that's perfect for basketball soundtrack.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm making music like I was trying to be on 2K. You know what I mean? Or motivational music. So it's literally just focusing on what do they want. Let me give them the soundtrack to that. Let me give them content that matches that, and just cater to them, and you're going to be successful.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? As long as you don't stop. because it takes a long time.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing with going viral now. That word is a little twisted now because most people that are doing content can get millions of views. Like almost everybody can get millions of views, and that used to be considered viral. But now since everybody's doing it, it's not really viral.
You have to have multiple videos, right?
Yeah, multiple is good. Multiple is good, but now my definition for viral will be cultural.
Okay.
Like, has this person become so big that the culture knows about them? Because I could post a video, it get 3 million views, and you might have never seen it. You know what I mean? But if I really go viral, everybody in this room will recognize the name when I say it, or recognize when I'm talking about what I'm saying it. But there's hundreds of thousands of videos with millions of views that we might have never seen. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But viral to me is like if everybody here recognizes what we're talking about.
Facts.
That's viral.
We'll talk about the plan. I mean the fans. I mean, because we'll stay there. We're talking about viral and stuff like that. Fans' expectations, right? Are fans partially to blame for the decline in the music quality due to their demand for quick and catchy hits over meaningful and well-crafted songs?
You know
I'm
what?
putting the questions together for you.
I never really thought about the fans' demand. And if I do think about it, I wouldn't agree that that's how they feel. I would think that they want quality music. You know what I mean? But I never thought about it. But if I did, I would think that they will want quality music. Like dealing with the artists that I deal with, I said this before, the number one thing that the fans want from the artists that I deal with isn't even music. It's access.
Okay.
They want access to them. They want to be able to go on live with them. They want to be able to see them in concert, see them in person. You know what I mean? They want to be in group chats with them. Like, they want access. They're not really too concerned about their music. They like it and they may even love it. But for the most part, what they want is the person, the artist themselves. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that fans are looking for quick and catchy music. I think that they want quality music.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So let's go back because I know we just dive right into it.
Yeah.
You said Mississippi,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Your last name is McKee.
That is correct.
My last name is McKee.
Saw that.
My last name is McKee, and I'm from New Orleans.
Okay, what we got to do is, who is your grandfather?
So Wilbur Verrett is my grandfather, but Lester McKee is my dad's dad. So okay,
that's your grandfather.
That's my but he passed away. He passed away.
Well, I'm not saying a lot. So Lester McKee is
my
from
dad's
New Orleans.
Yes.
And do you know his dad's name? Your great grandfather.
I gotta ask my dad, dog.
Okay.
Because MCKEE is different. Like, okay, so our family was split, right? In terms of like some of them spell it with MCKEY. And then
some spell it with EE.
Some way down the line, someone got married or something happened, and they changed it to MCKEE. So when I seen your name, I'm like, bro, I don't normally see last names like that,
especially not black.
Yeah.
So I know when I saw your name, I already thought it through. I'm like, well, okay, well, obviously we're not first or second cousins. So either your grandfather is cousins or brothers with my grandfather, or your great grandfather is cousins or brothers. And so I need to figure out,
Me too. That's what I'm gonna
Lester
do.
McKee, but I also need to know the one above that, the great grandfather.
Okay.
And I can send it to my family. Hey, is there a Lester up there?
Yeah, facts. Yeah, because I seen it, I was like, dog, nobody spells their last name like that. So I was like, and then when you said Mississippi, I'm like, that's right there.
Well, yeah, so it was Biloxi. They were from Biloxi, Mississippi. I lived in Starkville, Mississippi, but they were from Biloxi. My grandfather is Mizell McKee, and his dad is John McKee. So we got to see it. I'm on that tonight. I'm gonna call. Well, actually, they went to Hawaii, so they'll be back Friday. So I'll let you know what they say though, for sure. I mean, it's very likely because it's just so rare.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's either it's gonna be your grandfather or your great grandfather.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
That's dope. Let's shift gears, man. In terms of like, because your track list is crazy in terms of the people that you work with. How do you identify like a star? I know you said with content, but how do you identify a star? And how do you say, like, what gives you that, like, I guess the battery in your back to say, I want to work with him. I want to pick him or her.
Right. I mean, it's definitely changed as the business has changed. And so now for the most part, it would be a great content creator. Like they're really good at content and their music is good.
Facts.
So first I'm going to pay attention to the content. Is the content fire? Okay, now what does the music sound like? So it's really just the two things. Like, is the content great? If the content is great, what does the music sound like? So if they have the ability to do both, that's when I want to work with them.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? It's kind of that simple, but that is not the majority of artists.
Yeah, facts.
But there are a lot of them out there that are good. You know what I mean? So good content creator, then good music.
That's
and
dope.
It's in that order.
That's dope.
Yeah.
$1 million question for you, man. And I ask all of everybody that I meet and like my life journey and stuff like that, I ask them this question. How big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail?
Man. I mean, I guess I'll consider this, the next stage of my life. I'm really focusing in on TV and film.
Dope.
And so I would just consider myself, a Tyler Perry level producer. You know what I mean? We have our 50 Cent, Tyler, 50 Cent. We have our own production studio, very large studio, and we're making content. So I would say that, but I don't see that. Yes, it's a dream, but I see that as something that I'm going to accomplish. So I've already lived a dream.
Right.
So for me, like, dreams aren't dreams. It's like, okay, just put the plan together, execute.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? So that's what I would see next, is just that level of producer. Okay. Tyler Perry, 50 Cent level of producer.
That's dope. That's dope. You answered this question, but I still want.
Oh, wait! I got something for you. I got something.
Let's go.
Okay, this is the part I would consider a dream. Acting.
Okay.
Acting. Like, I know I'm going to produce, but I'm going to probably act.
That's dope.
So I would say, I won't call it Denzel. That's a little high.
Nah, bro. You can't fail. And with this question, you can't fail.
Okay, then I would say Denzel. Like, that would be where it's like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? I can't believe that happened.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I would say that. Yeah,
that's dope. That's dope.
Acting at the highest level, I would say it would be a dream.
Yeah, facts. Side note, bro, I like your shoes, bro.
Thank
Golden
you,
Goose.
bro. Yeah.
They comfortable?
Nah, they
not comfortable. They
more
hard,
comfortable than most, but they not just like super comfortable.
Yeah, facts. I be on fashion. What kind of like brought me to those is because they have the star on it, right? At first, I thought they was Bapes, like another form of Bapes, and I was like, wait, what? What are those?
Yeah.
And then my sister had a pair, so it's like you the second person I seen with some like in person. I'm like, these are hard, bro.
These started back when I lived in LA.
Okay.
Because I think Lennox got one maybe like 5 years ago.
Facts,
so Lennox got one. But even when I lived in LA in like 15 or 16, I used to get them then. And then once Lennox got it, it became popular in Atlanta.
Facts.
Which is cool, but yeah, I've been on them for a minute.
They dope.
And now like this is literally all my family wear. Like my kids, like that's all they wear is Golden Goose.
That's dope. That's dope. All right, man. I got another question for you,
sure.
bro. And this I wish I had a drum roll or something like this. All right. With the weight of the world on your shoulders, success in the palm of your hands. Yeah. How do you respond when adversity knocks at your door? Jr McKee, Vibin With Veto.
Well, that's my life.
Okay.
That's literally how I live. Honestly, I've had so many ups and downs that I'm just very aware that it won't last. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, it's just like, okay, however long we're here in this period of down and adversity, we can bear it.
Facts.
You know what I mean? There's nothing that we can't bear because we know it's going to end.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, being 20 years in the music business, you have years where you make $2 million, $4 million, and you have years where you make $300,000. You know what I mean? So it's like, then you have years like I had a couple years, I want to say like 16 and 17, where I didn't really make any money. If it wasn't for my catalog, I wouldn't even eat. You know what I mean? So I've had years where we didn't make anything. And so I've already had enough ups and downs to be very clear in my head that if we're in a downs period, it's just a period.
Facts.
Eventually something good will come along as long as we keep working. You know what's crazy? Me and my wife actually identified a trend in my life. And the trend was every 4 years, breakthrough. You know what I mean? So so if I go back to the beginning, with Cadillac and J Money. That was when it started. And then about 4 years after that is when we found iTunes and the Joker and we started making real money. 4 years after that, K-Camp record deal. 4 years after that is when I officially became a millionaire. And 4 years after that was Money Long. And it's like every 4 years, Money Long is now 2022, so I'm expecting something great. 2026.
Yeah, facts.
Like every 4 years, like just a super breakthrough come through.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we identified that, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's dope. That's dope. Damn, bro, that's dope, man. Just hearing your story, like, how refreshing is it, right, to wake up every day and be in your purpose? Like, how refreshing is that to wake up and you are living your purpose?
Yeah, you know what, man? That's a loaded question, because one of my biggest struggle in this very moment is figuring out what my purpose is. And so,
really?
Because the music business, you know, it was obviously a gift. Like, you know, and over the last 5 years, since I've been so focused on content, I keep having to remind people that my real gift was A&R. My real gift was like creating music. Like I can create music like no other. Like I understand hit records.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like with K-Camp, we ran off 6 back to back, and so me and him split up. But we was 6 in a row platinum records. You know what I mean? And every single one of them, I picked the single. This was before really could lean on social media to pick the single. Damn. Now we don't even gotta do that no more. Social media pick the single.
Right.
Back then it had to be your gut. Like, okay, what's next?
Facts.
You know what I mean? So like A&R and making music is really the gift that I came into the music business with.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so a gift for me is just something that it's not a skill. You know what I mean? Like I have a skill in marketing. I have skill in business. You know what I mean? These are things that I just have practiced and got better at. But a gift is like something like I just walked in the studio and was like, oh, I know how to do this. Damn. You know what I mean? So that's a gift, right? And so I discovered that gift from being in the studio, and like I didn't know that I could write songs. You know what I mean? I didn't know that I can put music together. I had no idea, but I just happened to be in the studio with my boys, and I'm like, you know, working with them, and I'm like, oh, I'm good at this. This is crazy.
Thanks.
I started write a verse. I'm like, what you think about this verse? Crazy. I'm like,
right.
I'm like, dang, I'm good at this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's
facts.
like that's a gift. Like I didn't have no practice in that. I just walked in good.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And so my gift in the music business has been phenomenal. But now it's like, okay, what other talents and what other gifts do I have, and how do I turn those into, you know, impact? You know what I mean? Like I had an impact in the music business. Now this next stage, how do I turn my gift into impact? Like I think I'm gifted at acting.
Facts.
I actually went to school for acting. I went to Cleveland School of the Arts.
Okay.
For drama, and so I was really, and that's a school that you had to be accepted into. So I got accepted into it for acting. So I think that there are new things. I mean, I won't call them new, but there are other things that I'm gifted at, and I'm just like, man, like, you know, how do I attack these things so I can make an impact? And so, yeah, I'm still kind of like in this moment. I'm like, dang, like, it's so many things that I feel like I'm good at. What do I do first? Where do I start?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm in a moment where I'm trying to figure out what the purpose is next.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Can I ask you a question? Like, and it's kind of like a advice too, as well, because I make music. This is how I started. I started making music and just like, bro, I just know every goddamn body, right? And this kind of just fell in my lap. I got into a bad car accident and I started doing this. Yeah. And I still want to make music and I want to do this, but it just seems like I'm being pulled in two directions. If you're Veto, like how do you maneuver through this trying time? So
podcasting and making music. I mean, I think it's all about, so we talk about this all the time when I'm dealing with artists, it's all about the brand. You know what I mean? What are the brand keys? Like what are the, we'll call them pillars to make it easy to understand. Like, what are the pillars of your brand? Because if you can figure that out, then you could do everything on brand. So, for example, if, you know, you're doing podcasting, you're making music, but that's not necessarily your brand pillars, right? Your brand pillars is like, oh, I'm heavy on financial literacy, or oh, I'm heavy on, you know, basketball. Basketball isn't the greatest.
Bro, I watch wrestling, bro. Yeah, I'm heavy on wrestling.
I'm heavily on wrestling. So it's like, now that I know what my brand is, okay, well, when I go to my podcast, I know what I need to talk about. When I make music, I know what I need to rap about because it's all going to fit on brand. So now my podcast clips can have my music over, like not people talking, but like just clips like you setting up, like, you know what I mean? It can have your music over. So it's like you want everything to be on brand. So the podcast is about wrestling. Some of the music is about wrestling. You know what I mean? It's just figuring out what that is. Like for me, entrepreneurship, all of my content has entrepreneurship. Because that's my brand.
I'm on your page every day.
Yeah,
bro.
You know what I mean? Entrepreneurship, family. So you get a lot of family content. Like once I know what my brand is, now I know what to make content about.
Dope.
And so your podcast and your music are both content. One is audio content, and this could be audio and visual content, but this is visual content. Music is audio content. So it's just like, what are my brand keys? That's what my content should be about. That way I'm always on brand. It doesn't matter that I'm rapping and podcasting because I'm both talking about the same thing.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for that, bro.
Yeah.
Real talk. And it's coming from you too as well. Like someone that has done it over and over and accomplished.
For sure.
So I appreciate that advice.
No doubt, bro.
And we gonna go back to the drawing board to figure some of these things out.
Yeah.
You talked about family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, before we started rolling, I was telling you, bro, I really admire that about you, bro.
Thank
like
you, bro.
you make being a dad look cool as hell. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
So how does that keep you grounded? You know what I mean? With all of your accomplishments and stuff like that, how does that bring you back to to normal?
So I got something for you, right? Another reason that I wanted to segue into a new business other than music business. And I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. This is how I feel.
Thanks.
My kids were born into me already being successful. They didn't get to see none of that struggle. And I feel like me seeing my parents struggle and come out of that struggle gave me confidence.
Okay.
It's like, oh wow, you can do like we lived in the projects. And then by the time I was grown, we was in the suburbs. And I saw the hustle to get out of there. And so I'm like, man, I kind of really want my kids to see me, I don't want to say struggle, but see me build something from scratch so that they know like, okay, anything's possible. Like they see me doing music. I don't feel like that gives them no grit or no hustle because it's like, I've been doing that. They seen that. So it's like, I want them to see me build something from scratch so they know, okay, you can start with nothing and end up with something.
Dope.
So that was a big part of the reason I'm like, I need something new that I can do in their faces and I can make them a part of so they can see, oh, anything's possible.
Absolutely.
And so that's another big reason is the family.
Facts,
that I'm starting trying to do something new so they can be a part of it and see.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts. And another thing that I like and like just about you, bro, like you're married, right?
Yeah,
and
like
I'm seeing like from you, I'm seeing like the good side of marriage, be projected to the world. Like, bro, all of that toxic stuff that's going on out here. No, this is what love looks like.
Right.
And I'm gonna shake your hand on that.
Bro.
This is what love looks like. Black love looks like.
Yeah.
And you guys, y'all making this shit look awesome, bro.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I mean, just speaking on my wife, you know, I'm very grateful for her. Even going back to when I talked about me finally becoming a millionaire, I always give the credit to her. And it wasn't nothing that she did specifically. It was more so the responsibility of knowing I was going to have a wife that made me change how I moved. I had to go back and look at my finances. Okay, how much money am I spending? Where's the money going? How much am I making? Like, before I knew I was going to marry her, I had never even thought about how much I was making. The money was just coming in. I never associated it, counted it. I never knew how much was going out. I was telling Kemp, me and Kemp sat down the other day. I was like, man, I remember looking at the finances. I was spending almost $30,000 a month. And I'm like, bro, how? You know what I mean? And I told him, I was like, I cut it down to like 11. And I was like, that's really what changed. And when I started getting my stuff together to the point that I eventually had $1 million in assets. Because back then, I thought a millionaire was somebody who makes $1 million a year. But that's not true. A millionaire is somebody who has $1 million in assets. So if they decided I want to sell my assets, it would equal $1 million or more. Making $1 million, you could be making $1 million spending $800,000. So you really only ended up with $200 a year. So that's not a millionaire. A millionaire means you have $1 million in cold hard assets. You know what I mean? That's what a millionaire is. And so I started figuring all that stuff out purely on a responsibility of, damn, I'm about to get married. I'm going to have kids. I need to get myself together.
Thanks, bro.
And so my marriage literally did make me a millionaire because it made me change everything.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And so I give her that credit all the time. But I think, you know, I'm very grateful to be able to project that black love and marriage onto the world. But I tell my single and my married friends and the people that I just talked to about marriage, it's really just about, you know, you being willing to lock in and never say I quit. You know what I mean? Never say I give up or never, you know what I mean? It's really about that, because you're going to have the same struggles as, you know, a single person, a person with a boyfriend.
Girlfriend,
it's always going, married, it's always going to be struggles, but you got to be willing to say, okay, I'm here. You know what I mean? We're going to work through whatever struggles.
Thanks.
Because it's no different than being in any other relationship or even being single. Like when I remember being single, having issues with all type of different girls. You know what I mean? So
facts.
Now I have issues with my wife, and we work through them. We stay together, because this is where purpose comes in. And I tell my one of my friends who's about to get a divorce, I was like, man, the problem with your marriage is y'all don't have a purpose. You know what I mean? Because once you get a purpose that's bigger than you and them, then it's like whatever's going on, it don't matter, because it ain't bigger than this purpose.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So for us, our purpose is having a family and raising these kids inside a 2-parent household. Like, so it don't matter what little BS I did. And I'm not talking about like, I know the audience would think like infidelity and stuff like that. I'm talking about like real life, not out there wilding.
Yeah,
but I was talking about like, you know, miscommunications and you didn't do this and you didn't. So I'm talking about that type of stuff. Like that little stuff don't matter in comparison to the big picture, the big purpose. You know what I mean? So when you have that big purpose, you're gonna brush all that little stuff to the side. It's like, yo, okay, that was a mistake, but guess what? We got to keep it pushing, because these little girls going to be raised in this household.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? These little girls going to see their mom and dad loving on each other. They going to know what it's like to have a man in their life. They're going to know, they're going to get called beautiful every day.
Facts.
They're going to be able to wake up and run in the bedroom and see their mommy and their daddy.
That's dope.
So that's way bigger. That's a way more important purpose than the little BS we got going on.
That's dope.
And so that's, once you get that purpose, you don't have to worry about the little stuff.
Absolutely.
And I was telling my man, I'm like, yo, like, you and her need a shared purpose. Because if y'all had that shared purpose, these little arguments wouldn't mean much. You know what I mean? You getting divorced over little arguments.
Fact.
You know what I mean? And so
that's dope, bro. That's dope, man. I grew up with my mom and my dad in the household, so I see, like, and I saw and I lived through seeing how two black parents love each other. You know what I mean? So it was like, it's amazing to see, and that's still alive. You're young. You get what I'm saying? And it's being projected to the world, bro. Right. Like, and I appreciate that.
No, for sure, bro. Real talk. we definitely try. Like, that's a part of the reason why we make content is just that. Is just having that representation on the internet.
Absolutely. That's dope. I got one last question for you, bro. Okay. And this is about basically for a person that's starting the music business, like wants to be an artist or whatever have you. Their credit is pretty good. You know what I mean? They have some credit cards. You know what I mean? Okay. They don't have liquid cash, but they have credit cards and they have a job.
Yeah.
Is it smart to use your credit card to fund your career until you get to the bag?
Did you say they have credit cards but don't have a job?
Well, no, they have a job. No. I was saying they have credit card money, but they don't have like liquid, like in a bank, like you know, the amount that their credit is, right? Do you feel like that is smart to use, and they don't have a business, to use their personal credit to fund their music career until they get to the bag?
No, I don't think it's smart. Mainly because music is one of those businesses where you have to dump a ton of money in before you see any money back. And so when you're talking about funding the business on credit cards, it needs to be a business that's going to have some sort of revenue coming in. Even if it's not as much as you putting out, just something to be able to pay those bills. Coming in. But music is generally, you're not going to get anything come in until something really crack.
Pops.
You know what I mean? And so that means you're going to have no way of paying these credit cards off. You know what I mean? So I would not advise that, simply because of the lack of cash flow. You're not going to have any money coming in.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Now, if you're starting to get into direct-to-consumer where you're selling your albums, then that's a little different, which is what we're trying to get everybody on anyway. That's
Facts.
what Even.biz is for. You know what I mean? You go to group.com, like these places that allow you to be able to sell your music or sell subscriptions so that you do have cash flow coming in.
Facts.
So that's different. So like if you got to the point where you're able to sell your products, your music, then it's like, okay, I know I'm going to have cash flow to pay this credit card bill.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, everybody knows you get charged extra for paying the minimum. So never pay the minimum on your credit card bill. Always pay more.
Yep, the principle.
So if you have cash flow, then but if there's no cash flow, then no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then before we go, let's talk about Even.biz, right? Even.biz, right?
Even.biz.
So is that like kind of like, all right, let's go back to Nipsey Hussle, right? You know how he was like proud to pay, right?
Marathon.
He had the $100 mixtape with DJ Drama and stuff like that. Did you guys get, because you work with them, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys get that idea from like, you know, seeing the other artists grind and things like that? Like, how did that come about?
Okay, so Mag is the founder. Mag Rodriguez is the founder of Even.biz, and so I met Mag. I was on a record with Jacob Lattimore and Mag's artist at the time. I can't think of his name, but he's from Milwaukee, and so Mag was the artist manager. So that's how I met him. I met him. He was managing another artist. But some years down the line, maybe 2021, you know, he came to me with an idea. He was like, man, you know, I want to start this platform where people can pay for artists' music. And I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Like, we need that. Like, we need to stop selling streams and start selling our music like we used to do back in the day. Because remember, my first breakthrough was iTunes. We were selling the songs for 99 cents. You know what I mean? And so we was making 30 grand a month. So like, I'm like, I want to get back to those days. Because right now, at that moment, I don't know if I had an artist that was making that type of money. Maybe I did. I don't know. Probably so. But still, most of the artists I had wasn't making that type of money. So I'm like, yeah, we need to get back to that. And so it was an idea stage. And then not too long after that, I came across Lil Russell. And I was like, man, I really love, like, he was kind of taking the Nipsey Hussle thing to the next level with pay what you want. You know what I mean? He was doing pay what you want, where, you know, you can buy something from him and pay whatever you choose, whatever you think is worth to you. He was selling stocks and shares in his music. So it's like, hey man, give me $500, I'll give you 5% of this song. You know what I mean? So like he was doing it all, and I'm like, man, he's the perfect artist for what my man Mag was talking about. And so I was like, yo, Mag, I got somebody for you. And so me and Lil Russell ended up talking. You know, we ended up doing a deal, and I was like, Lil Russell, like, you know, we're gonna put his album out, but I was like, I know the perfect place for you to put his album out. And so Lil Russell and Mag got together, and Lil Russell really helped shape Even.biz. Like I'm talking about before it dropped.
Yeah, facts.
He helped, you know, make sure that the software, everything, like, it made sure it was what it's supposed to be. And so he really made some beautiful changes to it. And then the week we dropped, we sold $150,000 worth of his albums.
Can we clap this
in
up?
6 days.
Let's clap this up.
6 days, yeah, $150,000. And that was what Lil Russell had already built it. Even.biz just came in as a platform to service it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, think about Airbnb. Like, they're just a platform that services your unit that you already own.
Facts.
So Lil Russell already owned the fan base. It's like he just needed the platform to come in and be able to provide the service for him.
That's dope.
And that's what Even.biz is.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? If you have the audience, or even if you don't, like, I've seen, man, bro, it blew my mind. It was a cat. I think he had... No, it's all good. It was a cat had 55 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Right.
So he really didn't have no audience. He put his album out. The week he put his album out on Even, he sold $3,000 worth of CDs. And it's like, bro, like, he didn't even have an audience. He just had hustle.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And so it's like, it's just a platform, man, where you can go in there and you can make money from your art. That's the whole purpose of it. You know, buy art from the artist.
How do you sign up for Even.biz?
Anybody can sign up. Really? So you go to Even.biz, Even.biz, and you can sign up to make an account to put your music up there and, you know, put it for sale. And, you know, you can sell more than music. You know what I mean? You can sell your shows. You can sell really anything you want to sell, you can sell on Even.biz.
So if we do a show, right?
Yeah.
Like, we do a show and we're like, we want people to buy tickets.
Correct.
We can literally sell the tickets on Even.biz.
Yeah, you can, because Even.biz, the back end of it is really blockchain. It's not, what do you call it? Web3. The back end of Even.biz is Web3. So really what they're buying, and without them even knowing it, is an NFT. And that NFT, you can put whatever you want in it. You know what I mean? But that's what Even is so genius, because on the front end to the fan, they don't get to see all that. But on the back end, you're buying an NFT, so I can put whatever I want in that contract. Whatever I want to sell you, I can put it in that contract. And now, as long as you hold that, you can, you know, like you said, sell a show. You show up to the show, you just show that, and you in.
That's dope. You know what I mean? That is dope. Yeah. That is dope, man. Black excellence stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Well, you know, Mag is brown.
Oh, okay. Well, brown. All right. Well, both.
Brown excellence.
Brown and black excellence. Yeah, facts, man. I really appreciate you for coming to Vibe with Veto.
No doubt,
This was awesome, bro.
Yeah, no doubt,
This was a must.
I appreciate you inviting me, man.
Man, thank you, bro.
For sure.
Again, tell the people where they can find you, big dog.
Yeah, so Jr McKee is MCKE.co.
It's my cousin, bro.
.co. Yeah, jrmckee.co is my my Instagram. And I didn't come from home because if I would have brought my books. I have a book out now called 10 Artist Commandments. It was the #1 selling music business book on Amazon. So you go to Amazon and buy it, 10 Artist Commandments. And it's really the principles you need to become successful in the music business.
That's dope. Nico, can you put that in your phone? I'm gonna buy your book. You know what I mean? For sure. I'm gonna have you autograph it too.
Yeah, I got you, of course.
Facts.
So the book is out right now, 10 Artist Commandments. You can follow me online. I have courses online that, break down digital marketing, etc. So if you're looking to be educated, definitely go into the course. I mean, my main goal on the internet was to be an educator. You know what I mean? Like, that was the purpose of my Instagram page. Once I decided to do content, it's about educational content.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? So get the book, get the course, follow me, DM me. I answer all my DMs. Any questions, just hit me in the DM.
That's dope. Yeah. Thank you, bro.
For sure.
Hey, man, listen. This has been another episode with Vibin With Veto. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Follow us. Yeah. And you already know the slogan. We vibrating higher. We gone.
For sure.
I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hey, man, I know y'all watching the interview and stuff like that, but I'm an artist too as well. I go by the name of Just Call Me Veto. Make sure that you tap in with all of my music, all of the content and stuff like that. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at Just Call Me Veto. I got a project coming called Shit Hit Different with my boy Sauce Lord Rich. Y'all be on the lookout for that too. Let's get it.